Hello, boys and girls. Mrs. Scott read you a fabulous book called Turkey Trouble. And in this book, do you remember what the turkey dressed up as for his costume? And what did he have in his hand? That's right, he delivered pizza, and he had a large pizza that looks pretty yummy. So today we are going to make a pizza. So for this activity, you need a paper plate like this. If you have another shape, that's okay too, because pizzas come in all different sizes, especially if you make them your own. You need red paper for the sauce. You need some different colored paper to make your toppings. And you can make whatever toppings you like. I am making purple onions. I have already cut out some mushrooms. And parents, if you want to do some of these cutting for your children, that would be okay. This is going to be pineapple because I love pineapple pizza. And then I have some red paper to do some pepperoni. And then for the cheese, I have from the dollar store or Walmart, I have this paper grass. It's white from mozzarella cheese. If you don't have access to something like that, you can cut strips of paper or yarn would make really great cheese too. Whatever you have that would work for your family. So here's the thing we're going to do with this fun activity. We are not going to glue today. We are going to use this activity so that you can do it again and again with your parents. So the first thing you're going to do is with a brown crayon, whatever shade of brown you would like, or if you would like to use maybe a yellowish orange, whatever color you want your crust. We're going to color the outside of the plate to make the crust. So remember, when we're coloring, we pinch our crayon and we move our hand back and forth at the wrist and your fingers. We don't want whole arm movement so that we're moving from our shoulder or our elbow. I struggle to even demonstrate that. But we want to use our wrist, and we want to go back and forth like this. And we don't want to do big, long motions like this because that's where we end up getting that whole arm movement. So parents, try and encourage small back and forth motion, just like I'm sure most of you color. So I am going to do this and color all the way around the outside of the plate. So when you're doing activities like this, we're incorporating a language piece. So outside versus inside. These are all positional phrases that we use, and students need to know for later more advanced work such as math. For handwriting, we need to know a lot of positional phrases for handwriting because the verbal cues we use. So these are important things that we're incorporating into this lesson today. And part of the reason why we want you to be able to do this lesson again and again. So I'm almost done. Trying to go as fast as I can, but still do it the right way. If your student needs a break because their hand gets tired, because for especially younger students, this can be a hard task and a tiring task on their fingers, they can take a break and stretch out their fingers super long, squeeze them into a fist and open and shut them, kind of like the song your preschool teachers sing. All right, I think I'm done with my crust. So you can see I colored the outside of the plate and left the inside still white. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle. I'm going to use a marker to draw my circle just so you can see what I'm doing, it's a little easier. So if your student would like to try and make their own circle, encourage them to start at the top, and we're going to go around and go back up to the top, like that. If they're having a hard time with drawing a circle, especially a larger circle, you can draw with a faint line and have them trace it. Okay, now we need scissors. So remember, when we're cutting, one hand holds the paper, thumb on top, other hand holds the scissors, our thumb is in the small hole and on top. Now, cutting circles can be tricky, especially for younger students. So what you do is open the alligator mouth wide, and I'm going to do my best to show you how to do this. And then the alligator likes to eat slowly, so we slow and we turn our hand as we go around. And we open again slowly, and as we move this hand with the scissors, the other hand with the holding the paper has to move also. It's called bilateral coordination. So close, slow, and turn. Open scissors wide, cut, and turn. Now, a lot of students, especially in younger students, preschool age, they have a tendency to cut just snips, and so they end up with a not a circle shape. That's okay too, because pizza is never perfect. So now we have our sauce. Now let's think about where our sauce would go on our pizza. Would it go on the top of the pizza, like this? I turned it over so that the marker lines were not on it. Or would it go under the pizza? You tell me. That's right, our sauce goes on top of our pizza. That's the next step. We have our crust, then our sauce. Now, what comes next on a pizza? Cheese. So we're going to sprinkle some cheese on top of the sauce. Now, in my house, we do some cheese on top of the sauce, but then we also do cheese on top of the toppings. We like to layer our pizza. Okay, so we have some cheese on top of our sauce. Now I'm going to make some pepperoni. Now, pepperoni is typically a circle shape, so we're going to practice some more circles. So remember, when we're doing our circles, we start at the top, and I'm going to try this, and go around and back up to the top. That is most definitely not a perfect circle, but that's okay. Now, I am going to fold my paper so I can make multiple pepperoni at a time. So you can have your child fold your paper, and then I'm going to fold mine again. Now, folding is not something we expect preschoolers to be able to do, so if they try their best, that's okay. And then once again, we're cutting a circle, so we're going to turn our scissors and our paper at the same time. And now I have some pepperoni. Now I'm going to put my pepperoni on top of my cheese. So you can put as much or as little cheese as you want. So I have 4 pieces of pepperoni. We can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next, I'm going to do some onions. So I drew half circles, and I'm going to just cut to the half circles. Once again, parents, if your child is not able to do this much cutting, you can cut out some of the smaller intricate pieces for them. So if you just draw like a rainbow shape on the lines and you draw a couple lines, it will cut out like this. So now I'm going to put my onions, I'm going to do one next to this piece of pepperoni. Try and move my plate closer so you can see. Okay, so I put it next to. I'm going to put this piece on top of my pepperoni. I'm going to put this piece under my pepperoni. Ooh, getting tricky. And I think I'm going to put this piece, we're going to call it the side of the pepperoni. So these are all positional words that we were talking about. So next, I'm going to put on some mushrooms. So I'm going to put a mushroom in the middle of my pizza. And I'm going to put a mushroom at the bottom of my pizza, which is closest to me. I'm going to put a mushroom on top of my pizza. And I'm going to put 2 mushrooms, one on either side. And you can label them left and right. But once again, they're not expected to know that in preschool yet. So, ooh, my pizza's looking pretty yummy, but I want my pineapple. So I have 4 pieces of pineapple, and I'm going to put them diagonal to my mushroom that's in the middle. Now that's a lot of words. So here's our mushroom. You can point and show diagonal and have them use their finger and go middle is here, diagonal. And I'm going to do diagonal this way between my pepperoni and my onion. And I'm going to put this one diagonal from my mushroom in the middle, the opposite way, and put it on above my pepperoni. And then one more piece of pepperoni, I'm going to put it diagonal under my red onion. And then because I like cheese on top, we're going to sprinkle some more cheese on top of all of these ingredients. And there is my pizza. Now you can do this activity over and over again. If you put all of these pieces in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, you can work on positional phrases multiple different times. And you don't have to make the pizza all the same way every time. You can add some different toppings. Maybe you want some green peppers. Maybe you want to add different colors. Add different amounts of each so that they can count each. There's so many different ways to incorporate academic skills, OT skills, speech skills into this activity. I hope you enjoyed making a pizza, and I can't wait to see what your yummy pizza looks like. Bye, everybody.